Is another foreclosure crisis knocking at the door? Hey, we got a good one to unpack today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody is doing great. So here we go. Foreclosures. Could we see them again? Well, of course. We just went through the biggest artificially induced overnight real estate bubble ever witnessed in human history. Anybody saying no crash risk here not only wants to sell you a house, they need to. Insane. I don't even know, like we could unpackage so much right now. U.S. savings rate all-time low, U.S. debt all-time high. That's not a good one. When you have U.S. loan applications at an all-time low, when you have agents dropping out of the industry, when you have certain areas reversing course and registering significant price reductions, we are entering the front end of the vortex of a potential real estate downturn. Make no mistake about it. You and me each get to put the percentage of likelihood on it because none of us can guarantee it. Now, one thing we can guarantee throughout history, historical data has always shown cycles, boom and bust cycles. And here's why I hate to say it, but I just have to as a level-headed realist that's lived through a downturn before and suffered from some of its blowback as a bill-paying adult. I have to put some percentage of likelihood on this one because for one, I worked in this mess. But number two, overnight appreciation to never seen before highs, and they let it go too long. Had we stopped it prior to runaway inflation, maybe we could have got out of this with a soft landing. Maybe. I'm not even sure. What we did, doubling the amount of money in circulation during stimulus, that alone was just red alert time. Not a fraction, not 25%. You doubled the amount of money. Free money was running like water in the streets. Insanity. So anybody saying no crash risk here not only wants to sell you a house, they need to, right? We know that, right? I mean, let's just cut to the chase. Now, most of you hopefully look at an agent like me that's going, this guy's giving real talk. He's not guaranteeing a crash, but he's saying there's a high probability about it. And he's saying he's going to put my needs before his. That's what we want. An agent not worse shape than their clients, willing to put their clients' needs before their own. That's what we want, clearly, right? We want to look at certain things like, how's this property pencil out? You know, standard amount down, today's interest rate. What's my cost to carry? Could it rent if it had to? Could it rent for that payment? Nobody did that for their clients out there. Just buy now. It's competitive. We need all cash. Can you borrow money from mom and dad? And it was mainly first-time home buyers out there doing that, exactly that. So we've got a lot of people now in homes that they can no longer afford, right? Because runaway inflation and their wages aren't keeping up with inflation. And, everything's spiking, property tax, insurance, everything's going up, gasoline, everything's going up for them. And they didn't stop at new houses. They bought new cars and vacations and all kinds of other stuff. They got bamboozled is what they got because the narrative wasn't warning people. It was like, go spend, it was stupid. Stupid. I hate seeing that happen. But if we see foreclosures, what we're going to see is more of the same of what we're seeing now on the news. This is going to segue us in. And eventually, these trending headlines will be loan defaults spike. Foreclosures spike. Now, here's the thing. As a trained salesman, I know once I sell you the house, it's all about the house. The last thing you want to do is give up that house. We're going to have bailouts. We're going to get bailouts targeted at the housing market to help owners stay in their home. The Stay in Your Home program. We had this before. It didn't save it. It delayed it, maybe, but it didn't save it. But we will see bailouts. Why? Because that's what we do. We bail people out. You got to let them take their lumps. But unfortunately, there's going to be hot spots. No bailouts will get it done. Why? Because banks aren't going to they're not reducing loans. They might modify it, but you're not getting any purchase price forgiveness. They're just throwing it on the back end. So you're going to chase it for a while, and you won't even be able to come up with your new reduced payment. You're still going to be stretched thin. And in the meantime, they're going to be selling off your loans. We're selling off loans right here in big blocks and packages of loans. We're just going to sell them off to other banks. And then the banks are going to sell them off to investors. That's what's brewing right now. But the investors won't be able to buy up all the foreclosures if we hit a foreclosure crisis. They're not going to be able to absorb that. They're going to cherry pick on which areas they want to buy. And the banks aren't in their conference rooms right now talking about the health and the fitness of all the loans they wrote during the crisis. No, they're low yielding loans that most of their owners are one by one. As we're speaking right now, another owner just went upside down. They can't sell for what they paid for the house, and they didn't check its rent range. They didn't listen to Scott Walters, of course. Well, some of you did, of course, but most of them didn't check rent range. They fell in love with FOMO Factory's furnishings and finishes at some tour home and bought some house in the back 40. And that's how you end up seeing foreclosure crisis. And here's the new normal for this next potential downturn. You see, we'll see the foreclosures concentrated to those Phoenixes and Vegases, all those areas that you really didn't want to go, but you went. You went anyway, and they built all those brand new homes because there's tons of land available to do it. And we're already seeing them reverse course. Those will be the foreclosure festival areas that'll start. But guess what? We got to take comps, and then it starts to spill into existing neighborhoods. That's why I always tell you guys, buy newer, but not brand new. Get into a neighborhood that where most of your neighbors bought pre-bubble. Any of these areas that were sold during the bubble are going to be the foreclosure concentration camps that we're going to see pop up. It makes perfect sense. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. But the reality is this. What we're going to see is certain areas start to fall. Then today, because of contagion, all the screen time, people are going to behave much differently in this one, even if they're in a relatively safe area. They're going to start to panic. And the realities are this. Even if you didn't buy in one of these areas, no matter where you bought, if you bought at the height of the crisis, you're at the tippy top of the market. If your property flatlines or doesn't go up, you're upside down, because once you get sold and commissions and fees and everything that go along with it, you're not walking away with any money. Those are people right now. So what are they hearing? They're hearing people say things, probably their parents, like, well, don't worry. Real estate always comes back. My real estate agent, I heard somebody say that it's picking back up again. No, it's not. At minimum, it's a dead cat bounce. That's why in the meantime, I'll be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. God bless. I'll see you on the next video.